Sideline Dad Podcast, Episode 1. Welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, Joe Foley. Welcome to my very first podcast. The reason why I'm doing this podcast is for me to share things about my experience about being a dad. In each new episode, there'll be new content about being a dad and latest news and tips about raising kids from a dad's perspective. You can also find the show notes over at nosittingonthesideline.com. Today's podcast, we're going to talk about a great website that I found that talks about having a great time and creative moments with your children. Also, the things my newborn taught me during the first few weeks, and the episode of extreme weight loss with the dad who stepped up to challenge and change his ways for his family. Let's get right into the topic today. My first thing up is mykidsadventures.com. What a great website for kids and families who are trying to find interesting, creative things to do. Remember when you were young and you and your best bud would put on a sheet for a cape and a sword made of paper towel rolls and have sword fights? I found a great website for parents who have creative adventures with their children. The owner and the founder of this website is Michael Stelzner. He also is the owner of all the websites, Social Media Examiner, and also you could find My Kids Adventures over on Twitter at kids_adventures. Also, Michael Stelzner has a podcast also, Social Media Marketing Podcast. Very good podcast I listen to all the time. A few things about this website, a few articles I thought were pretty interesting. We're planning family camping trips. Everybody wants to do that. Have a great time planning family camping trips. You know, marshmallows, campfires, stories around the campfire, fishing, hiking. They talks about how tips and how to have a great camping trip with the family. Also, 6 tips for starting a family play. What kid would not want to make believe and have a great time doing it? Well, they give tips and ways of creating plays with the family. You know, if you have a son, you can play pirates, or if you have a daughter, they can have a girl theme, maybe like Princess or Alice in Wonderland or something like in that context. Another cool article I found about was how to create Harry Potter potions. Pretty cool step-by-step instructions. Yeah, you might want to ask your wife before you use the microwave and make a mess for kitchen, because it looks really like mad scientists in the kitchen. They have a lot of great ideas for families and had a great time together. Again, you could check it out over at mykidsadventures.com. Well, another thing I'd like to talk about today. The last 2 months have been wonderful and challenging also. Everyone says taking care of a newborn would be challenging, and they were right. First things first, I want to give a lot of credit to my wife. She's done a lot of hard work. I was thinking, what things has my little one taught me so far? Time management. It's true, and I admit it now. Maybe I didn't realize it after, but it's true. Try to finish any project before the baby's born, because it'd be very hard trying to get projects done right after that, because it's all about the baby. House cleaning. Break it down to little tasks, one thing at a time. Like bathroom in the afternoon, other bathroom in the morning. It's simple that way, because you try to do everything once, you're not going to do it because you're either tired or tied up with the baby. Planning personal time. It's great having a spouse, because if we all need a break once in a while, we can't be super dad or super mom. You know, one spouse would take an hour while the other one takes a break, get some personal things done, or just takes a breather. A couple of times with spouse. That's important too. Reconnecting after the birth of the child, because we're in this together. We gotta work together. You know, if we're not connected, it's not gonna work. We should move on change diapers. Oh, I've become an expert on this. Especially I have a son, and he has a tendency to, once that diaper comes off, there's a stream of pee. So I get that diaper up, put the other diaper on quick before I get sprayed. I got sprayed twice. Actually, the nurse did at its first doctor's appointment. I had to take him off the diaper because I had to to dress him so the doctor could check him. And as soon as that cold air hit, ding, it was right at the nurse. And I felt bad. Thank God my wife was there to cover it up quickly, or the nurse would have been soaked. Also, make sure when you're changing, babies have no control of their hands, no control of their feet. You gotta hook those feet up, lift that leg up, because if you're not, they're gonna get everywhere. It's gonna be a mess. Another thing I thought I didn't realize when I had a child: crisis management. When a baby starts crying, he's in crisis mode. I'm hungry, tired, overstimulated. I have a wet diaper, poop-filled diaper. I need to be changed, or just wants to be fed. Not sure why the child's crying. You tried everything. Nothing seems to work. Try to keep your head. It can be frustrating, aggravating. And if it gets too overwhelming, put the child down. I've been a parent for almost 2 months, and I've had a couple times it's overwhelming. I needed a break. Put the child down for a second, breathe, regroup, and start again. And eventually figure it out. How to work on a few hours sleep. Yeah, this has been a challenging thing for me, especially at work, and my wife has been home. When she has a chance to take a few minutes nap, me, it's been, how can I fit in a nap somewhere during the work hours? Like, especially I have an hour lunch, or if somebody has an hour lunch, try to fit in a 15-minute nap or a few minute nap, just to re-energize. Because believe me, it can be very overwhelming, especially if you're tired. People ask questions, you can get real cranky. Try to go to bed early. That works for me too. I try to go to bed earlier than I normally would. Try like 8 or 9 o'clock, so I can get up at 2 or 3 in the morning to feed. It helps, because I try to get on one side. I try to go to bed early, get some sleep, and then hopefully in the other end it helps out. Work on being healthier. That's something I'm working on too. Another thing, I'm being tired. I felt better when I'm really hydrated. When I drink a lot of water, it really helps a lot, and it helps me feel energized. And that's the most important thing, because I need to feel energized for the baby, because a lot of stuff needs to get done. Logistics. Well, another thing too about having a child, it can be a chore. But going place to place, packing things for the kid, make sure he has enough outfits, make sure enough bottles, make sure he has enough everything. It almost feel like I'm moving a battalion of men from the military. Good idea. Planning is a good idea with children. Always bring more than you need, because you never know, you probably would need it. Also, another way to always bring a clean change of clothes yourself, because you never know. Because I've already been 2 months in, I've already got peed on a couple times. Another thing, try to be flexible in every situation. Plan ahead for things you want to get done. Write on your calendar, schedule, and get it done. Be flexible, because schedule always changes with the baby. You never know. You might have to be a little more flexible on one end, so you can get the stuff done the other end. Another topic I'd like to talk about tonight. I just watched another episode of Extreme Weight Loss with Chris Powell. You can also check out the show over at abc.go.com/show/extreme weight loss. I'll have it in the link in the show notes. This episode talk about a gentleman named Mike Epstein. He started at 417 pounds, and he was addicted to food, which it seems like a lot of people, and the obesity rate in America is out of control. He showed how it was, in the beginning, Chris brought him to California. He weighed him, showed him how to eat right, went through a lot of tests, realized he had calcification in his heart, almost didn't make it on the show. And he's determined to lose this weight because he wants to be around for his children. It was kind of interesting to see when he got home, all his family around him, and he really needs them to participate in trying to get rid of some of the bad food in the house, because that's a temptation for him. And he was showing the kid's right way to eat, and that's a real good father, especially taking a leadership role. And also, it's nice having a supportive spouse. and it really helps. I mean, sometimes when you're losing a lot of weight, especially in this show, his wife had to take a lot of the burden on while he's going through the yearly transformation. Really cool part about the show is he got to train with a real deal Evander Holyfield in the ring. Part of the show, it was a boxing. He could go 12-round boxing match. The day before, Chris Powell brought in real Evander Holyfield because Mike met his goal to train him show him a few things about boxing before the next day's event. At the end, what a great transformation! The guy lost over 50% of his bone body weight. It was nice watch. It was interesting watching him go through tough times through the holidays, when all the temptations of many different kinds of foods shows that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. He just seemed like a normal man going with the same temptations we all do. We all need to take care of our if you're overweight, take care of our eating habits, because we need to be there for the kids. As much as the mother's important, we need to be there for the kids also. Another thing too is it was really motivating and inspirational when one of his kids sent him a card. I think it was Father's Day, and he was in tears. And he mentioned how this really motivated him to continue and fight on. Well, that's all I have for this episode. Thank you for joining me on the No Sitting on the Sideline Dad podcast. You can find the show notes over at nosittingonthesideline.com, and please comment on the podcast. All comments help improve the podcast. Also, I can be reached at my email, joe@joe-foley.net. Well, thank you for your time. Until next time, have fun, get involved with your children.